Hi, I'm Simon from Half Price Granny Flats. We're here at a job in Bosley Park, Western Sydney. We are standing in a 2-bedroom granny flat, a brick veneer construction. For this particular granny flat, we've used raked ceilings, which give that feeling of space, which is needed in a granny flat because they are restricted to basically a council's controls or compliant development controls. I'm here today to speak about timber framing. The timber framing we use is a 90 by 45 H2 treated pine timber frame. We also use 90 by 45 H2 noggings. The reason we're using treated pine here is not because it's necessary, but in my opinion it's necessary because we use a physical barrier as well as a chemical barrier. That's two ways to protect your granny flat from termites and to prevent the horror stories that we commonly see on TV about termites. 90 by 45, I can swear by it because I'm a carpenter myself. I'm a carpenter by trade. I've been in the building game for over 15 years, and 90 by 45 is much stronger than your 90 by 35 that other companies tend to use. In terms of structural integrity, it's just a better timber. MPG 10 also, it's a bit better than your F7, which a lot of people are using, or your cut of logs, which in my opinion is not structural timber. This has complete grading. It's an Australian timber, and like I said, I stand by it. Steel bracing. So obviously there are wind loads against any building structure. In a timber frame construction, what stops those wind loads from movement of this structure is steel bracing usually. There are other methods like plywood bracing, which is also a good method. The particular method we've used here is Pryda mini brace. So this is a good system because it's a 1.2 millimeter gauged steel. Basically, being 1.2 millimeters, we can run this in one direction. The other option is your hoop iron bracing, which needs to run in two directions because it only works under tension. So it will only work in one direction unless you cross brace it. With that system also, you would need to tension the bracing. So the last thing I want to talk about is a tie down system. According to the Building Code of Australia, this is what we build by. We need a tie-down system for wind loads. Basically, we're using a double-sided stud tie here. This wraps around the bottom plate and attaches to both sides of the stud. We use one at the bottom and at the top of every stud that has a bracing or corner. And whenever we put one of these tie-downs, we accompany it with a Dynabolt within a reasonable vicinity. A lot of builders will skimp out on using a tie-down system because unfortunately they get away with it sometimes, but there are different wind loads in different areas. So in my opinion, you should never skimp out on a tie-down because it is a serious concern. It's not an everyday concern, but it could be a 1 in 10 years or 1 in 20 year concern. So it's a long-term thing, and we're building for a long term, and any structure we do build, we expect to last at least 50 years. So hopefully this video has given you an insight to timber framing and what things you should look out for if you're in the process of building a granny flat, or if you're looking at building a granny flat. Or you can even help with a home structure, residential building structure that you're planning to build. It's good to get on your builders about this. Make sure they're doing it right. Sometimes these things go unseen, and you're going to pay for it later. So I hope this helped you, and there'll be more videos to come in the future. We'll be covering all aspects of the construction and help you build your granny flat. Thanks.